The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How can we know for sure? It hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Sweet. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tabletop Turntable. My brain just completely exploded. Hello. Welcome to Grimstone Gaming's fun channel where we play a bunch of different games, different players, different GMs. I'm your GM for this one, and welcome back to Delta Green, my favorite game. Watch the last episode if you want to see me rant about it like a total nerd for a little bit. But today we're just going to start off with, I'm going to recap a little bit of what happened last time. I'll go around and have everyone introduce themselves, and we'll jump right back in. So last time we met our agents. There seemed to be some sort of weird goo-related nonsense that occurred up in Seattle. Specifically, Tybalt Greaves's body was found in his driveway and slowly dissolved into just a hand and foot and a bunch of goo. Inside his house, there was found a secret lab, as well as the body of his live-in girlfriend, Amanda Griffin. Agents were brought in specifically due to this strange presence of a material that hasn't been identified. The Delta Green Friendly put a bunch of that, everything that they found of it, on a flight to go to Atlanta for some studies. That flight crashed and is currently being investigated and everything over in Montana, I believe. And agents arrived on the scene, found out about a weird burnt down strip mall. They investigated a little bit into the house and found some weird tracks, like feet that were disproportionately sized. Talked to some neighbors and got some information about Tybalt Greaves and Amanda Griffin. And specifically, where we left off, they were outside looking at some crows, and specifically one who seems to have some fingers growing out of its chest. Super gross, super creepy. Can't wait to get back into it. But real quick, let's go around and introduce ourselves really quick. Colin, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'm Colin. I'm playing Agent Michael Royschel Mitterwald.
Perfect.
He's a military surgeon.
Amazing. Meg?
Hi, I'm Margaret Alice. They call me Meg. You can too. I'm playing Safi Conroy, a British scholar.
Perfect. Sero?
I am playing First Lieutenant Marco Marshall Cohen, First Lieutenant Green Beret, active duty retired.
Awesome. And James?
Hi, I'm James, and I'm playing Lucas Brandt, State Department employee and bureaucrat about town.
Amazing. Love it. Well, get ready. And this is the part of Delta Green where I feel that I should tell you as the players, things are going to move quickly. So have a backup character in mind, potentially.
Oh, no.
Love hearing that.
It's my favorite thing to tell everyone. And also just a general content warning, we're going to get into a little bit of heavier stuff, especially as we're getting into more of an investigation. Obviously, you heard it at the beginning, but make best judgment. We love safety tools here. So let's jump right back into where we were. I think specifically, Michael, you're the one who noticed the bird with fingers in its chest.
Yeah, it's like a crow, you said? A crow in these trees?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you guys had just talked to a couple neighbors, and you were kind of reconvening on the street, and you noticed a murder of crows, specifically in the tree across the street. And as I believe Marco was kind of getting their attention a little bit by like having like a flashy object. I forget exactly what it was. But he was just shining it enough that the crows were clearly very focused on that. And Michael, as you got a little closer and looked up, that's where you saw the deformed bird. Now, again, you've only seen one of them that seems to have this. You don't notice that in any of the other birds.
Yeah.
But it's time to do my favorite thing ever. It's time to do a sanity check for you, Michael.
Okay.
So let's talk about what sanity checks are. Sanity is how affected you are by the crazy shit that's about to happen. If you lose too much of it, you can go insane or develop disorders. It's super fun. So what you do is you have a stat that is your sanity, and you're rolling against that, and your attempt is to roll under it to remain calm and sane in this situation.
Okay, my sanity is at 55.
Perfect.
Let's see. Fail.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, me too.
Take 1 point of sanity damage.
Okay. All right.
Or actually, sorry, I misread that. 1 second. Sorry, I'm not going to let you get off that easy.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I would have been, I was like, that doesn't feel right. There we go. Take 4 points of sanity damage. My goodness.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Sweet. So, turn it over to you, Michael. What's the move here?
So I think he's gonna kind of like with this sanity damage, kind of just freeze up. And his kind of hands drop to his sides. And he just kind of like freezes up and stares at this crow, with these fingers growing out of it. I don't think he's gonna be aware enough after 4 points of sanity damage to like, reason it through or even like talk about it really. So he just freezes up and stares at the tree.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, 4 points of sanity damage is pretty serious.
It's like almost like temporary insanity, I think.
Yeah, 100%. You're 1 point away. What do you think about this disturbs Michael so much?
I think, he's seen a lot of stuff as a surgeon, particularly military surgeon, but this is like, you've seen a lot of things, but something that the medical sense it does not make, like, is alarming to him. And running through like diagrams, like old school medical textbook diagrams, and the fingers coming out of an animal does not jibe.
Yeah. What's everyone else think as you see Michael kind of staring up and just kind of freeze and probably like go pretty pale?
Oh yeah.
Safi's gonna try to look at whatever he's looking at.
Okay.
We're pretty used to unusual things, yeah. So seeing somebody with a look of shock on their face wouldn't be that surprising.
Yeah, you're probably more like, oh God, what is it?
Okay.
I think Marco would actually sort of fall to procedure in a sense, and kind of come up to the major and essentially just sort of grab him by the back of his shoulders, what his coat or his clothing, whatever he's wearing, and turn him around to face me, and say, Major, there's something I have to talk to you about, and start walking him back towards behind one of the cars, just to create some distance and try and snap him out of whatever he's hyper focusing on.
Perfect.
Yeah. Talk. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Major, we need you here now. You can't, you're the one supposed to know what's going on here.
Yeah. Did you see that crow? Did you?
Let's not think about that right now. We gotta call this in, don't you think?
I think we gotta kill it.
Major, respectfully, I am not gonna start firing in a neighborhood full of civilians. We were told to keep this under wraps.
Okay, yeah. Let's do that. But we can't We can't let that thing, whatever happened, whatever got those fingers poking through that crow, we can't let that get out.
We got to find a way to contain it. But if we start popping rounds off here, it's going to be SWAT all down in our grill. We don't need that.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Sorry. I'm good.
So while this is going on, Lucas and Safi, are you kind of looking to where he was looking?
I think Lucas would be more turning to look at the two of them walking off to have another conversation.
Sweet. Well, Safi, you don't need to make a check because you can just follow where Michael was looking. So go ahead and roll sanity as you see this like bird kind of like rolling its wings a little bit, and you see the fingers kind of like slow, like writhing and moving just slightly as they do it.
I'm just picturing like dirty fingernails. It grosses me out. It makes it grosser somehow.
They're just a little uncomfortably too long.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so sorry. Can you say again how what am I rolling and what am I trying to get?
Yeah, so you're rolling your sanity, and you're essentially you want to roll your D100 below what your score is.
Right. So same as all the other skills. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a 16 under a 60. So
Sweet. So you take 1 point of sanity still. But yeah, you are not quite as affected as Michael was. So what's the move, people?
Did they just walk off? Where did they go? What's happening?
Marco is going to pull out his phone and speed dial the handler back at the FBI.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it probably goes through about half a ring, and then it picks up. Rosales, what do you got?
We got two options here. We can either open fire in a suburban neighborhood, or we can get someone with animal handling to take down a flock of crows that need to be contained.
Well, we're not getting anyone else involved, so take care of it.
Understood. Hang up. Marco will go around to the back of the car, hop the back of the trunk, take out the rifle, load around.
Hell yeah.
Take sight.
Wait.
And snap off a round.
No!
Oh my god.
Please tell me we have at least a moment to just to talk about that for a second before the round is fired.
I don't know. He said it, so I kind of want to just go with it.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean, let's be real. You see him unloading a rifle from the trunk and in the middle of a small cul-de-sac.
So after you told Michael to we're not gonna shoot this thing. We're not gonna do this. He sees you on the phone, hang up the phone, and then go get the rifle. And he's like, "Oh, okay." Feels a little crazier.
Well, hey, can you explain to me why we're taking rifles out right now? What is happening?
Did you see that bird?
No, I didn't see a bird. I didn't look at the birds because when you looked at the birds, you got weird. All right, listen, first of all, we know the crows were eating him, right? So if one of them has a problem, don't you think a lot of them are going to have a problem?
Marco, how many bullets you got?
Full clip, sir.
What's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen if you shoot one of them? Do you think they're going to stay put?
Conroy, you saw the birds, right? You saw the bird with the fingers, right?
Oh,
it's not just me.
Yes, no, I definitely did see that bird, but he does have a point that
Okay.
As soon as you shoot at it, the rest of the murder will probably take off. So, how fast is your trigger finger?
I'm waiting for a better idea. If we let these birds out into the neighborhood.
Oh, we can't do that.
We also need a recent cover story in case people are wondering why we're taking pot shots at crows in their neighborhood. So, is there anyone else still like outside? Any of the neighbors or anything, or are they just all back in their houses?
Most of the people you see are in their, like, most of the people that you've seen are still in their houses.
Okay, are they like
It's
they're not
probably
looking?
about, no, it's probably about 4 p.m.
So, rabies? Do crows get rabies? I don't know. I honestly don't know this.
I mean, lots of diseases can be borne by birds, so if not rabies, definitely something else.
Well, that I don't think we're popping off shots at crows if they have avian flu. But something. We have to have some sort of reason why we're doing this. And also, okay, let's take a gander, and I will take a look at the flock of crows without looking at specifically necessarily the one that we know is there. A quick scan to see if there are any others that are erupting digits from their chest cavity.
Yeah, sure. So you kind of do a quick scan. So you clock probably about like 7 or 8 crows that are in this tree. And like probably about 3 or 4 of them just look like normal birds. Like you're not a bird expert, but like you can see that like one has something coming out of its chest that you're trying not to look at too hard. 2 of them just like their wings aren't like flush against them, like they're kind of like out slightly. Like there's something like visibly you're like, this isn't quite right. And then there's the one that's like got its head just completely crooked to the side. And it's not like none of these are directly staring at you. Like they're still being birds. Nothing's acting super weird or threatening.
You know, we can't be that far from dairy farms. Avian flu is a very big problem for dairy cows. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
What if we go get some poison, put it in some bird seed? Think birds will eat some rat poison?
Suppose if it's in something tempting enough.
We have to kill every one of these birds.
I don't disagree with you. We also need to make sure we get all of them and not have them go flying helter-skelter.
I ain't got a net.
Is there a net in the trunk? There seems to be lots of things in the trunk.
There was a rifle I didn't know about, so yeah.
You can roll luck if you want.
Just chasing the birds.
Luck is not a stat that you have. It's just rolling against 50%. So you'd be trying to roll beneath that.
In order to find a net? Is that what's happening?
To see if there's a net in your trunk.
That's a 99.
No. It would seem not. Yeah, so what's the...
I was going to say, poison sounds like a great idea. How long do you think those crows are going to be within range for us to do something about it before they spread their contagion far and wide? You really got time to go down to the hardware store and get some rat poison and some bird seed and mix it up and come back here and hope they're hungry and still around by the time you get back?
Were there any chemicals in Greaves' lab that we could use? Anyone notice anything like that?
I bet one of these houses on this block got some kind of pest control.
I will say, poking around Greaves' lab, you didn't notice anything too notable. Like, there's probably all the typical more like household chemical things, but you're not gonna find anything super cool.
You want to try to pour some bleach down their beaks?
Yeah. That's the way to do it.
I heard.
I think Michael's still kind of shaken. I think he's not quite like come down from seeing this. But I think he's gonna go. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna go ask that old religious lady and see if she's got some bird seed and rat poison. I'm gonna see if she's got bird seed and rat poison. I'll be right back. And he starts just walking off.
Sweet.
So how many guns do we have? because there are 4 of us and what, 7, 8 crows? We could all take aim simultaneously, and then we only have to get 2 each.
How good of a shot are you?
I don't know.
I'm not good. Go ahead and say that.
While you consider this, Michael, you go to Miss McCready's house, and she opens the door pretty quickly and is just like, "What are you all doing over there?" What?
Oh, nothing, ma'am. I hate to bother you, but I need some bird seed and some rat poison if you have any on hand.
She's, I wish I could accurately show what her face looks like in that moment. But she, why is there something wrong with those birds?
There's something
You can
wrong.
see like she starts like leaning forward and kind of eyeing towards that tree.
I think he's gonna try to get in her way, like block her where she's looking through the door. There's something wrong with the birds, and we've got to neutralize the birds right now. I can't really explain more. It's an FBI matter. To get into any more detail will put you at harm, and I don't want to do that to a nice, kindly, God-fearing woman like you. But if you could really hurry up with that rat poison and that bird seed, if you got any on hand.
Yeah, and you can see that like she's confused and wants to ask more, but she's like, just a second, and steps away.
Michael looks back at the others and thumbs up.
Going great. As she does, though, you notice that she clearly has something by the door, and it's like a stack of flyers.
Yeah, I'm gonna peek at those flyers.
Do it. So you kind of like, as you're looking at it, you see that it's posters for her missing dog, King Charles Spaniel.
Shit. Well, I didn't think I'd be killing a dog today, but I guess that's what we signed up for. This is all in like inner monologue. He's actually saying this out loud at the door.
I'm so glad you didn't say it out loud. But yes, she kind of comes with a bag of birdseed and a thing of rat poison. She just kind of like hoists them into your arms.
Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. I noticed your dog was missing. That's a sad situation. I hope you find the little thing.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, he I can't find a trace. It's the oddest thing, like never happened before, but I'm praying and I'm sure he'll be returned soon.
Well, I'll be praying too while I'm pouring out this rat poison and bird seed. Thank you so much for your help. I appreciate it. And then you turn around and walk off back towards the gang.
I think you've out-weirded this neighbor. All right. Marco, Safi, and Lucas. How's it going out there while you see your deranged surgeon co-agent having this conversation?
I don't think there's really anything that Safi is doing in particular except keeping an eye on the birds and also like waiting for someone to hand her a weapon if we're going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think Marco is just kind of leaning up against the car, just sort of, in a sense, waiting for orders, see what's going to happen next. He still hasn't changed his mind about shooting the birds out of the tree.
Ooh. Are there any other agents still around, or Have they kind of cleared off?
You see like a cop who's like been watching the house and kind of making sure no one goes into it. But he's reading at the moment. He has barely paid any attention to what you guys are doing.
Is there like so? I'm assuming that Greaves's body is still not just laying out in the open, right?
No, his hand and foot, which were the only things that remained of him,
Right.
have been taken elsewhere, as well as Amanda Griffin's body.
Is there a chalk outline or anything of where it was?
There's a nice blue goo pile that composes what was left of him.
Okay. I'd like to go examine the goo pile without touching it, if I may.
Yeah, of course. It's more of a stain at this point, more than anything.
Fair.
Oh, that's
it's not just
unfortunate.
It's not just active goo.
I was going to suggest putting the poison and the birdseed in the goo, so that's unfortunate. But since they were eating it before,
Why
Were
not?
they eating him or were they eating the goo?
they were eating
they were-
the body, but the body was in the process of turning into goo. So
Right.
I imagine that there are still potentially some properties that make it delectable / whatever they've already consumed may be changing them. Either way. I was just being prepared in case they didn't want to go for birdseed anymore, because now they're like wacko crazy crows.
They've had a taste for goo.
Indeed.
They no longer respect birdseed when there's goo. I'll go examine the blue stain at least.
I mean, it's kind of, I think it's just a weird feeling as you're like looking down at it of like, obviously blue is not a typical color that humans decompose into. Um, but yeah, there's just something unsettling about it. It's hard to see anything else. You can see that there is a distinct, like, it goes around the hand and foot that were left. So there's like a clear like mark of a hand that hasn't been in that blue, and then there's the foot as well.
Why would everything but one hand and one foot decompose in that way?
Also, are the hand and the foot still present, or have they been
They've
taken?
been taken.
They've been taken.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Do we have access to that?
You can.
Next
Yeah,
steps.
that is all at the Sonomish Medical Examiners.
Well, that probably gives us enough time for Michael to come back with the poison and birdseed.
Yeah, he's gonna walk back and open it and pour out some like on the ground near the tree, and like kind of mix it up with a stick in the middle of the street. All right, so everybody, we I guess we go about our business now and then let these birds eat. I don't know if someone needs to watch and make sure, but we can't let these birds get out.
Yes, we'll definitely need to see them expire. I would suggest perhaps tossing a handful in their direction so they know that there's some food here.
I think that might scare them off. I think
Or
you
if
got to let them
Any fresh
come
carrion
here on their own,
out, maybe
their own time.
the dead squirrel anywhere. Maybe they'd be interested in.
You can look.
How many times has someone said that in a game? I'd like to find a dead squirrel, if I may.
Probably more than you think, actually.
I was gonna say, you're not my first. But yeah, something weird though. If you take some time and you kind of look around, you can't really. Not only do you not really find a dead squirrel, you don't find a lot of signs of too much wildlife in general. Like you see these birds, but outside of that, there's like you don't really see any squirrels or any like anything that kind of lives on the ground.
Oh, as when Michael sees Lucas doing that, looking around, he's gonna go, "Oh, the the woman over there lives over there. Her dog's gone missing. So if you see a dog walking around, kill it.
Wait. Was Greaves experimenting on the local fauna?
I mean, several pets have been reported missing in the area.
Did you
And
guys?
we do have
Go ahead.
prints leading out of the lab.
So it's more likely, I think it sounds like, that there's something has been created, a creature of some sort that is eating the animals. Is that a current working theory on that? Because I don't know what else those tracks could be.
Can I still see the bird that has the fingers sticking out of it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Have the fingers gotten longer?
Oh, like since you noticed them?
Yeah.
No.
Have
Okay.
any of the other birds started sprouting limbs that they should
The
not
one
have?
bird with just arms. Like,
Well, I was wondering if if it was I don't know. I don't know how to get it without capturing a bird. But I wanted to know if something was like coming out of the bird.
oh, okay, yeah. So, since you've seen it, you can kind of, while it's still disturbing, and Michael's going to need a little bit of time to process this, you
Yes.
can kind of probably get a bit of a clearer look. And as you kind of are able to stare at it a little bit longer, what you see is like essentially like 3 fingers and like the start of like the palm. But it
Yeah.
looks like it's not like growing out. It's
Okay.
just like there, if that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense. Like it's not
Yeah.
like something is like reaching out of it. It's just there.
Yeah,
And
that's what he
something
was worried about.
sweet. Something else you do notice the longer you're looking at it is part of why it took a second for you to notice that these were there in the first place is all of this has a dark blue tint to it. So these aren't like any human skin color. It's like a bluish skin.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting. Because I was going to suggest that perhaps we should fingerprint that bird and see if it matches our victim or someone else.
You can do that. You just got to catch him.
I mean,
Y'all-
I'm down for the rifle.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
'cause
we give the major's plan a chance to work. Give it an hour, maybe. See if they feed.
I don't know if we've
Yeah, what
So
time
you
is
guys-
it right now?
It's about 4, so if you
Okay.
want to try to hang for a little bit, one thing I will just suggest is obviously at least one of you should stay in the area because if these birds die, you don't then want someone to be like, "Mom,
No, we need to,
Look what
we
I
need to
found.
clean up after ourselves. And also, like I said
Yes.
before, make sure that they do die or get captured.
Yeah.
So,
I think Michael's gonna go. Yeah, this was this is my idea, harebrained or not. But I'll sit here and watch. Make sure these birds die, one way or another. I got a few phone calls to make too. So if y'all need to get out for go somewhere else and check out something else, go for it. I'm gonna hang out here with these birds and make some phone calls. Unless anyone has any objections.
You gonna be okay?
Yeah, I think I'll be okay. I was gonna grab you by your lapels. You ever seen a finger sticking out of a bird? But no, yeah. I think I'm gonna be okay. I just want to make sure this thing doesn't fly off.
Do we have anywhere
After
else?
that, I'll be better.
Do we have
And,
anywhere else to be?
I mean, the only other place potentially could be good to visit would be the ME's office. But I can also call them.
I'd like to chase down these private investigators at some point. But Major, all due respect, if those birds fly off, what are you going to do about it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just gonna try to get them to eat, and then one step at a time. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
I think we should just shoot the birds.
Why don't we
Shoot the birds.
stick around for,
I just know how bad I roll. It's gonna be like
I mean,
4 shots ring out, no birds.
my firearm training is not extensive.
Yes.
Why don't we give it like 30 minutes and reevaluate?
I
You guys
will
wanna give it-
call the ME's office and see what they can tell me and try to find out if it's worth visiting in person or not
Perfect.
while we wait.
Sweet. So you probably reach out to the handler or whoever you need to get that phone
An
number.
operator, someone.
Yeah. But eventually you're put in touch with Sonoma County Medical Examiner, Dr. Lewis Stubbs. So he picks up and you kind of hear like a gruff older man's voice. And it's like, Sonoma County Medical Examiner, how can I help you?
Hello, this is Safi Conroy. I assume you've been given a heads up that there are some agents in the area helping with the latest victim in your morgue.
I assume you're talking about Amanda Griffin.
Yes. I'm told.
Sorry, can I ask who's speaking? Who is this?
Listening skills not one of our top resume items. Okay. Again, my name is Safi Conroy, and
Conroy. Okay.
I need you to tell me everything that you can regarding the hand and foot that you received from what's his name, Greaves's house.
Yeah, sorry. I just needed you to say that I'm just writing down your name. And remind me, who are you working with, Miss Conroy?
This is getting very tiresome. You were or were not given a heads up that there were some agents in the area assisting with this investigation.
There's a lot of agents in the area, ma'am. I'm not trying to cause a fight. I'm just trying to keep track.
Sure.
No one currently has jurisdiction over this body, so I'm just trying to keep everything in line. I'm just doing my job.
Well, it would help me a lot to do mine if you would just give me the information that I need. Please and thank you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have the foot and hand of Mr. Greaves, and I have the body of Amanda Griffin. I haven't been allowed to look at them yet, so there's not much I can tell you.
Who is disallowing you from doing so?
No one's allowed to make any move on this until we figure out who technically is in charge of this body.
So
FBI
bureaucracy.
put a full.
Okay, the FBI is keeping you from accessing. Okay, perfect. Well, I will get in touch with them then, and you now have my number if you are allowed to do your job anytime soon. Or should you happen to overhear anything of interest, give me a call.
Yep, of course.
Thank you very much. Well, gentlemen, we're probably going to have to go to the MD's office in person.
So, Colin, I think that this genius plan is all yours. So I think it's only fitting that you roll a luck roll to see whether or not some birds eat that rat poison birdseed.
78.
Oh no.
So I imagine it's like just this thing of like you guys staring at the birds, The bird's kind of staring back at you,
Hmm.
and no one's going anywhere near that birdseed.
I mean, of course not. They're full up on murdered body.
Okay, well, should we go tell that cop sitting there reading that book that we're about to open fire on this tree?
Noise. Just kidding.
Forgiveness, permission. I'm not sure what's easier to ask for here, but I'd rather him not all of a sudden be running.
Hey, maybe he can shoot too.
Maybe.
Oh, that's
yes.
a very good idea. Yes. However,
I don't know if it is a good idea.
I mean, it is a good idea from a practical sense in that we do need multiple people with guns means that more opportunities for success. However, if he is aiming at the birds, he might have to look at the birds.
We can have him look at one of these birds that look normal.
Yes, that you think that will work? They're not all just like
That
right
may
there.
cause him to
I'll
be a
point
little
I'll point him at a
suspicious.
bird.
You shoot the normal looking one.
You shoot
What do
that bird
mean
up
the
there.
normal looking one.
Is Kane still available? She was on the ground locally, right?
Yes, she's currently. I think she's probably at the FBI headquarters.
I'll be sharing this idea with the team. Our handler was not interested in deploying any more resources, but Kane works for the CDC, and she was the one who called this whole thing in the first place.
Oh,
If this is an issue of the contamination getting out of control, wouldn't it be in her wheelhouse to try and contain it?
yes, that's a great idea. Also, see if you can get an update on the plane crash site. Because
Absolutely.
wasn't it CDC agents who were headed out there?
Yes, I made a note. I want to know if the body of the pilot has been recovered.
Yeah, sure. I can get you all of this information. Where do we want to start? What's our first? Choose one thing, and I will tell you about that first.
I think the best idea anybody's had all night was getting the head of the CDC involved in the bird contamination. So
Yeah.
I think
Marco would be
we
trying
should
to
go with that.
find somebody else to call, and now Kane is next on the list.
Okay. Yeah, you probably call your handler back, who then gets you in touch with Kane. So you probably get a phone call about 5 or 10 minutes later.
Right.
And when you pick up, this is Roberta Kane. How can I help you?
Yeah, Dr. Kane. This is Marco Marshall. I'm working on the case here, special agent with the FBI. I know that at the very least we're dealing with a site that carries a risk of contamination. Well, I think the contamination has escaped confinement here. We've got some animals who have picked up some of that blue goo that we found all over the place, and we think the issue needs to be contained. We're looking for recommendations.
Or boots
I mean,
on the
my
ground?
immediate. What kind of contamination are we talking about? Are you talking about a human contamination? Are we talking about an animal contamination? Can you give me some more details?
Well, we've been currently watching a murder of crows who seem to have actually eaten some of the deceased, and they're showing some signs of abnormal behavior that looks like it's some kind of poisoning or result of a toxic exposure. And then from talking to the neighbors, there are reports of missing animals and animal tracks that walk through some of this goo in the inside of the house.
Okay. Okay, what I need you to do is, I don't know, can you just shoot them? Like, I don't know. Like, we'll
Yes.
cover it. We'll figure it out and cover this up.
We
Like,
could
don't let
just
it
shoot them.
Don't let it spread. Just get me one of their bodies, and I can give you some information.
Sounds good. Thanks for your advice. I'll let you know what happens next. Now hang up.
Wait,
Well,
did you ask about the
Marco-
plane?
We'll turn over to the group and say,
No, Marco doesn't care about the plane.
Very unhelpful.
He got the go ahead to shoot. He's gonna take that.
Marco's like, that's all I needed.
What did she say?
CDC says shoot them. That they'll cover the catastrophe, as it were.
Sound like a scientist to me, but okay.
Yep, she needs a body to examine to evaluate the risk.
Do we have any more guns?
Well, you've seen me with the rifle.
I've got a pistol.
and another pistol in the trunk.
There you go. Why don't you three gentlemen have at it, and I will go have a chat with this nice cop so he is not looking your way.
You
Sounds
might
like a good
actually
idea.
tell him even more than that. He's going to hear us.
Well, sure, but as long as he's not looking, we can, I can let him know that there's, or, at least make sure that he doesn't see ahead of time that you're the ones going to make the noise.
Right.
I can attempt to
see.
send him on an errand or something, but I don't know that he'll listen to me.
It's worth a try. Unless you can shoot.
I mean, I certainly can try as well if we're just not bothered with the cop at all. I mean, we could shoot him as well.
Oh, whoa.
Just
whoa.
kidding.
Marco sort of looks over at Lucas and says, I'm just wondering who's more likely to land a kill.
Sure. My skill is not significant, but I'm always willing to try.
I'd say I got about a 40% chance.
Yeah.
That's better than me, and I'm better at talking, so I'm happy to go talk to the police officer.
Okay, that's fine.
Sure. So what's your goal with the police officer? Are you trying to get him to go somewhere else so you can do this real quick, or?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna be willing to leave his post. So I'm just gonna go up to him and be like, "Officer, what was your name?"
I'm Officer Campbell.
Officer Campbell. That's Lucas Brand, Special Agent. Nice to meet you. So we've got a bit of a situation here. It turns out that some of these. Do you see the tree right over there? I point to the tree.
Yeah, I see it.
There's some crows up in that tree. Turns out they're diseased. CDC has told us to take care of it. We're gonna, we're gonna be. We've got some specialized firearms for the job. We're gonna be shooting them. I just didn't want you to have a panic if you heard gunshots going off here in just a minute.
All right. A scientist at the CDC told you to shoot some birds.
Yeah, Dr. Kane, Roberta Kane.
Okay, do you mind if I make a phone call really quick just to verify this?
Who do you need to talk to? I'm sure I can get you through to him more quickly than you can get there yourself.
I'm gonna have to call this in. There's no two ways about it.
Call into who?
I'm gonna call into my superiors to let them know that FBI agents are shooting off guns in a neighborhood.
City police or with the county sheriff?
I'm with the sheriff.
Okay, hold on, and I'll call my handler and see if I can get put through to the Sonoma County Sheriff's Department.
Yeah, sure. Rosales picks up, and she's like, "You still haven't killed the fucking birds, all right?" And she puts you through on a call, and you get through, and they're like, "All right, let them do whatever they're doing. We'll figure this out."
See, everything's on the level, Officer Campbell, right?
All right, if you say so. And he just kind of throws his hands up and sits down to watch you all shoot at some birds.
Perfect.
Cool.
All right, we're good, folks. Let's exterminate these fowls with extreme prejudice.
Okay. Everyone ready to make some checks?
Affirmative.
Yes.
Okay. So is anyone aiming for a specific bird? Are you guys aiming for the ones that, are seeming a little different from the rest of the flock?
I'm aiming
What's
for
the-
the bird that almost gave me a mental disorder.
Okay.
I'm going to not aim for that bird. I'm going to aim
Okay.
for whichever 2 or 3 birds are closest together.
Okay.
Marco is going to say that he's going to shoot at the bird that has the cocked head and the wonky wings, but is actually going to be shooting at the bird that has the thumb out of his chest. And he's going to tell that to Marco. He's going to be like, "All right, Marco, you got the deformed one. I'm going to take the one with the bad wings."
Okay. Roll firearms, folks.
8.
Oh, snap!
40 under 80.
40 under 80.
I got a 17 under a 20.
Woo!
So yes, to answer your question, Special Agent Brandt, I can in fact shoot.
I never
I'm
doubted it. I don't know.
No,
Why
you just
exactly
asked. I'm not attacking. I'm just answering your question because
Fair
before
enough.
I didn't know.
Yes.
I'm so glad that our 52 minutes of planning on
Yeah.
whether we were going to shoot these birds has worked out so positively.
Look, we tried.
It's like,
Yeah, so I'm,
is the book like, be prepared for an entire session to be what to do with the birds?
I'm going to tell you right now, there are 3 paragraphs on the birds.
Ooh, we went a little longer than that, I think.
But yeah, I mean, you take your shot, and I like the idea of like Michael and Marco both like just annihilate this one bird.
I rolled for
And-
damage and it was 9.
I think it has 1 HP.
Just in case.
And then Savi mows down 2 of them. So technically, you both get half a point, and she gets 2. So
2 points of what?
oh, nothing. Just
Oh,
if we're keeping track.
I definitely
Congrats.
will.
Perfect. So yes, bird with fingers coming out of its chest is Big Dead, along with the one with the cocked head and one of the normal birds.
Now, with 2 shots landing on this bird, is it beyond collecting for a sample at this point?
It too is slightly goo at this point.
Okay.
No.
No, there's enough of
Okay.
there's enough of a carcass left for you to collect all 3 of them.
Okay.
Now, does that account for all of the birds that we had ID'd previously as showing signs of deformality?
No. 3 of them, specifically 2 of the ones that their wings were kind of up, and one of the ones I forget that for them specifically. No, I think it's just the 2 that had their wings up. The rest of the flock flies away as these shots run out.
Of
So
course they do.
wherever those 2 is not here.
So you're saying one or another of them got away?
Like
Yeah, about
4
2 of them have
got
flown away.
If we only took down 3, there's 4 or 5 of them still.
I
To be
thought we
fair.
might get all the deformed ones.
There was a reason we weren't going to shoot the birds in the first place. There was a reason we spent 52 minutes trying to figure out a different way to handle the situation.
But yeah, I mean,
Hey, we
Scoop
did
'em
what we
up.
were told.
Can I attempt to take another shot at the birds that are flying away?
yeah, sure. If anyone
Yeah,
else wants to as well.
That was the idea.
You're going to be at a -10.
Okay.
All right. So Marco's going for one of the ones that looks like it's deformed.
So when
Okay.
you say -10, what does that mean?
So what that means is whatever your current score is in firearms, you're going to take a -10 to that score
So if
while you're trying
I
to roll under it.
previously had a 20, I'm now trying to get under a 10.
Correct.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Hey, miracles happen.
Oh, no,
With
it
the
didn't happen.
Oh, okay,
good.
98. Fail.
Okay.
With the -10, I'm 50 under 70.
Nice. So, yeah, you take out another one of the ones that you saw was kind of like having more trouble flying than the others.
Any chance for a third shot?
It'll be at a -30.
All right. Here
Sounds
we go.
right.
That's still doable.
It's still
if your firearms
50-50.
score is
Yeah.
Yeah.
37 under 50 with the
Nice.
Perfect.
Wow.
And with that, all of the birds that you identified as a potential problem come raining down in the street. Hell
Sweet.
yeah, Marco.
Yeah.
I
So
told you we should have just let him shoot them.
Michael's gonna look around and see if like any neighbors have walked out of their houses. And,
After hearing
like,
several gunshots.
Yeah,
I-
at this point, many people are standing out on their doorstop at least.
I don't know. Some people are smarter than others and stay inside when they hear gunshots.
Lucas
Well,
pulls a
3 of the
full-
people in this neighborhood are not that smart.
don't worry, people. We killed all the birds.
So Lucas pulls a full Leslie Nielsen and Naked Gun. She's like, there's nothing to see here. Everyone, remain calm.
Flash your badge.
Everything's fine. Special Agent Brandt. We had some bird problems, but rest assured we've taken care of it. Please return to your homes. Go about your business.
All right.
Marco
Sweet.
will stow the rifle and say, Doc, you got a collection bag for those corpses?
I assume there are some supplies as well in the car, or at least in the lab, that we could grab.
Yeah. I would say that there's definitely some there's some things that you can grab to collect these bird carcasses in.
Perfect.
Sweet.
That's me
Um,
snapping a latex glove.
Perfect. So you scoop them all up. So who are you all just chipping in, or like is one person picking up the birds? Just so I know.
I think I'm gonna go for the bird that I shot. The one with the fingers growing out of it, because I think I want to like look more into it. Like I want to see like how they're growing out. You know.
Yeah.
You've already told me, but I think that's what he's doing. Like, I think
Safi is going to keep an eye on him out of the corner of her eye, but she's going to defer to his whatever is happening and scoop up the other birds.
Perfect. So Safi, as you're picking up these other birds, something you notice, one of them is totally normal. You don't notice anything weird about it.
Okay.
But the other 3 that you get, as you're kind of like picking them up, you feel like something's weird about it. Like something like there's like a texture as you pick it up that it's not like just feathers. And you kind of like reach down and like lift up, because you can see the feathers have like frilled out slightly. They're not just like flush against their body. And as you do, you can see fingernails growing like scales along their body, like in between all these feathers.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
And make a quick sanity check for me.
Now, just to clarify, when you said earlier to take a sanity point, that means I lose one off my maximum, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so
Correct.
I'm now having to roll under 59. And that's a 48! So I succeeded.
Nice. Hell yeah. So no sanity loss for that.
Great!
So what's the plan now? Where are we going?
I want to find out. I want to call the fire chief who I talked to, Mitch Griffin. I want to figure out, like, get in touch with him and ask him to, like, call back with updates on that fire. Like who, if anybody died in the building. I want to call him. I want to find out if the body of the helicopter pilot that was carrying that sample has been recovered.
Was it a helicopter?
And I want to talk. It's not a helicopter.
I have written down that it was a plane, I think, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, small plane. So I want to find out if the pilot of this small plane, his body or her body or their body has been recovered. I also want to talk to maybe this cop that's out front and see how, like, I feel like the character would know more than I would how to ask this question, but I want to know, like, how someone would get a hold of C4. Like if it's like, oh, you know, people who, I mean, I assume it's not a common occurrence where people use C4 to blow up buildings, but I want to know how someone in Seattle in this neighborhood would get a hold of C4.
Online, probably.
Yep.
Or like a
internet.
military, somebody in the military.
Yeah. Great question. So what's the location you want to go to next? Because I want to have that conversation, but where do we want to go to? Medical examiner? I know that Safi brought that.
Yeah, that's what I was
probably
going to say. Unless anybody has anywhere else that needs to be visited more urgently, my suggestion would be to take the birds to the ME's office.
Right. I was gonna see if someone from the CDC could meet us at the ME's office as well.
Good call.
Yeah, the medical examiner and then the private eye, the people who own that office. I feel like those are our two leads right now in the area.
Yes.
So we could split and two of us go to the PI's office, although that is the office itself what blew up, right? The C4 was in their office. So I don't know if that's where we would find them at this point.
We'll like try to find the person's address or something like that.
Their home address, something like that.
The retired Aaron Deneau, the retired private investigator.
Okay.
I wrote down Aaron Deneau, Evelyn Wells, and Ted Belton.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, we can split up and make back some of this bird time.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I'm going to the ME's office, so whoever wants to come with me, let's do that.
I feel like I should go with medical skill to the medical examiner's office.
That sounds great.
Good cop, bad cop will go try and find these private investigators.
You gonna get the local cop to drive you? You gonna call an Uber or?
Well, we could drop
It's my
you
car.
We could drop you off at the ME's first, and then take off in the car. Be my thought.
Okay.
Okay.
Just asking logistically, because last time we were in the car, I was driving. So I'm going to continue that pattern, and I'm going to the ME's office. You can do what you like from there.
Perfect. So 2 of you peel off, and 2 of you are going to be looking for a ride, and we're going to take a quick break and come back to that.
I think we're all getting in the car and going to the ME's office, and then they're going to drive to the private eye's office after they drop us off.
That works for me.
All right. We will be back in 10. See ya.
we're jumping back in. So
Before,
let's see. Someone was making a phone call.
if I could, Keaton, before we do jump right back into it, there was one thing I didn't get to get out at the top of the show, and I wanted to say special shout out to Meg because it's her birthday this week, and this is a special birthday stream for Meg.
Is
So,
it?
Happy birthday, Meg! Don't die.
Thanks.
Don't let Safi go insane.
Meg will still be here either way. It's not Safi's birthday, so.
Well, okay. Well, it's good to not be precious about your darlings. All right. Sorry, I don't mean to just to rob your train of thought, Keaton, but please.
Thank
No,
you.
no. You're good. Happy birthday, Meg. Yes, I was just going to say that we're jumping back. I know that we're all going to the medical examiners, and then some of us are splintering off. Are any phone calls happening during the ride?
Yeah, I wanted to. Well, maybe before we left, even I wanted to talk to that cop about how someone would get C4.
Yes.
I wanted to find out the body of that pilot, if it has been recovered, and call the fire chief and be like, hey, if when you learn anything more, like give me a call back.
Okay.
So let's chat with the cop first so we can hit the road, and then we can make the other phone calls in the car.
Sounds good. Just Michael going up, or anyone else coming up?
I'll go
I'm
too,
gonna
because
go.
Safi's nosy, if nothing else.
Did we
Okay.
did we reach out to the CDC and ask them to send somebody to the ME's office as well? Is that possible?
Oh, yeah, you want to do
yes.
that simultaneously?
Well,
Or
I mean,
is it
in the
assumed
car.
that it's done?
I-
Go ahead.
I'm cool with just saying it's happened.
Cool.
So they will meet you there.
I texted
Um,
somebody. It's fine.
Yeah, you live tweeted and you were like, by the way.
Dear CDC, meet me at, here's the address.
Yeah. Yeah, you were like, killed some weird ass birds, and then you have like a bird emoji. Yes, so you walk up to Officer Campbell.
Campbell.
And
What
he's
worse,
like, fine shooting, Tex. Did you get those naughty birds?
Yeah, I think we got them all. Listen, I had a question for you. We passed this fire going on up the street at the strip mall, and I had a little chat with the fire chief up there who said that it was started by someone planted some C4 on the back wall of this building. I was wondering if you knew or could put me in touch with someone who might be able to tell me how the average person, if it's possible, or who you think would have access to C4 explosives in this town.
Well, first of all, anything the fire chief told you is just speculation at this point. We haven't gotten to go over the scene. So I would take everything with a grain of salt for the time being until we can get some actual lab reports back.
Okay, understood.
But now
Say
we don't
he's
have
right.
any. Sure, let's say he's right. We don't really have any like known gun smuggling or weapon smuggling issues that have been brought to our attention, at least. So if it is C4, that's a wild one for Sodomish. We're not something that we typically run into out here.
Do you have any like a weapons locker at your police station that might have some C4 that's been recovered, or something like that that somebody might have broken in and stolen?
We have a pretty thorough check. I'll call it in and see, but I doubt. I don't know of any C4 that's in our possession, and if it is, it'd be pretty goddamn hard to get it out of there.
Okay, well, just to be 100% safe on this, here's my phone number. Call me back. Please make that phone call. See if anything's gone missing. If maybe someone else at the station knows something else, but just let me know what you find out, please, if you don't mind.
Of course.
All right.
Sweet.
So yeah, that was, and then we'll get on the road, I suppose.
Okay, perfect. Phone calls happening in the car. CDC, you call. I was gonna say, who you talk to, whose name is blanking out of my brain right now.
With the CDC?
with the CDC.
Was Roberta Kane?
Yeah, Dr.
Roberta
Kane.
Kane's. Yeah, so she herself is like, I'm gonna be there. I'm not sending anyone else. I'll meet you all there.
Well, good.
Click. Oh, and I remember last time you guys talked, you wanted to ask about the plane crash to get
Yes,
some updates.
I did want an update on whether the samples have been, well, the site has been secured, whether the samples were recovered, and Michael also wanted to know about the bodies. The body of the
Yes.
pilot, at least.
Of course. Yeah, so we found the crash site. As of right now, we were expecting some human remains, but no bodies were found at the scene. Not a trace of anything. Essentially, the plane spiraled in, hit a canopy of trees, and exploded on impact with the ground. There's some big pieces of aircraft all across the site, but there really isn't much. We found that case, unknown biological substance 1. It looked like it got smashed open. Whatever was inside was destroyed on the landing.
Destroyed or just isn't in the case anymore?
Well, the official report is destroyed. As of right
Sure.
now, we don't know.
And is there a crew log of some kind? Do we know if there was anyone, like how many people were on board? Was it just the pilot or...
Yes, there were 2 pilots, Captain Ivan Zabo and Captain Michelle Grant.
Did you say, and I'm not on this phone call, but did you say they were expecting to find human remains and didn't?
Yeah, they were expecting to find the remains of the pilots at the scene,
Okay.
but they did not find those remains.
Is there, did you find the plane's black box? Was there any recordings or logs of any kind that let us know why the plane went down in the first place?
No, unfortunately nothing. It's a small flight and no black box.
Anything else of note? Find something you didn't expect to find?
Now, the biggest thing, and obviously this is need to know information, the case didn't look like it was open from the outside.
I see. So, probably not destroyed then.
We can assume not.
Okay. All right, well, that's good to know. Any civilians come across the site before you were able to secure it?
No. No
Wonderful.
civilians. It crashed in a national park, so no issues there.
Wonderful. Okay, well, best of luck with cleanup. Do leave the park as nice as you found it. And I'll give you a call if you need anything else.
Sounds good. Thank you. Any other phone calls being made?
Fire Chief?
Fire
Yeah,
chief.
I wanted updates on the fire.
Yeah.
Or just give him, do the same thing with the cop. Be like, here's my number. Call me if you find any bodies or come across anything weird.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you call him, he's just kind of like, there's nothing really to report as of right now. We've, the site's secured, but this entire strip mall is essentially just nothing but ash.
Okay. Well, you have my number now, so give me a call if anything comes up, anything strange, or any, you find any human remains, anything like that. Just give me a call back, please.
Of course. Sweet. Medical examiner?
Mm-hmm.
All right. And 2 of you are branching off. I think it's Marco and Lucas.
Yep.
Yep.
So where are you 2 heading off to once the other 2 arrive?
I think once the Doc and the Major are out of the car, so that Marco can hear himself think again over Major's phone calls. He's going to be see if he can track down where either Denault, Welton, or Belton might be. Any
Okay.
one of those three.
Perfect. Yeah, let's have you roll for that.
Humint? Sigint?
Yeah, let's
Human?
do. It would definitely be human, which again is human intelligence. So let's have you look into that.
Yeah, I got 50 over 40.
All right. So not a lot. You get basic information like, you get public records, so you can find like their addresses and things like that. It looks like the only people who live locally are Ted Belton and Evelyn Wells. Belton lives outside of Seattle, while Wells lives probably somewhat close to. No, probably like just outside the city.
She was the one who was driving around the neighborhood.
Correct.
Right.
But I also try and track down Deneau's last known whereabouts.
Yeah. So as you look into Deneau, I mean, it looks like he's retired and recently moved to Florida.
That's right. That's right. I think we knew that.
So once we've got these addresses, Marco's going to mention to Lucas that that Wells is looking pretty good right now. Wouldn't you say?
She was at the scene, so that, seems like a good place to start, yeah.
And if we could find any connection between Wells and Amanda Griffin, that would really help us out a lot.
Okay.
Sure. So you guys gonna head to Wells' address?
That's what Marco wants to do.
I will say at this point it's probably about 6 p.m. So you're getting into later afternoon, evening.
And I'm sorry if I'm crazy for thinking this. Did we learn that like Griffin was like an escort that Greaves had
Yeah.
hired? And she
Yeah.
Yep.
Do we know? Okay, good.
Yeah,
sure it
that
wasn't-
you didn't make that up.
What a
She-
weird thing
she-
to believe.
Right?
Well, it was a rumor. I think that might be why you're unsure, is because we heard a rumor. It wasn't. We haven't corroborated it. I don't think. But
Correct.
his neighbors did say that Greaves often brought home sex workers until her, and then.
Could I use my bureaucratic connection to see if there were any escort services in the area that would be worth following up on?
Yeah, sure. You can even just try to investigate Griffin a bit and get some information about where she might have worked.
Sure, maybe investigate if she has like a rap sheet or anything, if she's ever been arrested for solicitation, or I guess whatever.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Sure. Let's have you. Let's see. We can do human or like, yeah, we can do forensics for this too, like kind of like online forensics.
But I can do human.
You can do human.
Good,
I
'cause
won't make you do the other.
I have 60 as opposed to 0.
Oh, okay. You should definitely do human.
I rolled exactly a 60.
What happens when
Perfect.
you tie?
You tie, I believe that it's a success, and I believe that's a critical, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So, yay!
Yay! What does that mean?
So, Yeah, I mean, as you track down Griffin, you're kind of able to pick up a good amount of information. So she's from Olympia, Washington. Um, she, her mother, Ophelia Tunney, lives locally. She's with her husband, Emil Artenza. Both of them live probably about like 15, 20 minutes away from where you're at currently. Let's see. She actually was pretty well known in the stripping scene around Washington. She had a lot of different jobs and was pretty popular altogether until she retired suddenly, which the dates correspond with when she moved in with Greaves.
Oh, this is Griffin was well known.
Yeah.
I thought you were referring to her mom.
No. Her mom is not a stripper, as far as I know.
Okay. All right. As
At
far
least
as you know.
not anymore.
As far as I know, not anymore. She's
There's
out of the
room-
game.
Room to fill in the map there. Let's see. Okay. All right. Do we know where, like, is there a club that she worked at most often?
Or
Yeah.
recently.
So her last job was at Roses, which is a strip club that's probably more in the city.
Okay. Well, Marco, I didn't think I'd be saying this on this particular trip, but we might have to make a visit to a strip club.
I have no problem with that.
That's okay. So, can find out if what's his name? Can't remember names. I'm terrible with names, everybody.
Who?
Ooh.
Amanda Griffin.
Not Griffin. but,
Greaves?
not Greaves. The other detective person.
Oh,
The other private eye.
to
Not
know?
Wells. Not to know, but the other one.
Belton?
Well,
Belton. There was he was ever a clientele of Roses. Something of that
Elton is
nature.
the unknown here. We've got nothing on him so far.
Right. But you've got Wells's home address, right? So why don't we pay her a little?
He
visit?
got both. Wells is just closer
Yeah.
Well, and we also know that Wells has been by the scene
in the
so-
neighborhood. Yeah.
And it's too early to go to the strip club.
Good point.
I've heard they've got a great buffet, so you know.
Never too early.
Yeah, that you're missing
Perfect.
early bird dinner already.
so Marco and Lucas roll out to Wells's house. Safi and Michael, you arrive at the medical examiner's office. As you kind of walk in, you can see it's a pretty professional place. You can see like a cop is kind of hanging out, similar to the house that you were just at. So you assume he's assigned to keep an eye on things. But eventually, Dr. Lewis Stubbs comes out to greet you both. And he says, hi, I know I was brusque on the phone. I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Lewis Stubbs. I'm here to help. This has just been a very confusing and frustrating situation.
Completely
Andrew?
understood, Dr. Stubbs.
Quickly, did that briefing summary say Stubbs was checked for, what did it say? They made sure he wasn't infected by this, right?
Yes.
The CDC tested him
right,
for
right,
infectious diseases. All are cleared. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just introduces himself. Michael Mitterwald, nice to meet you.
Dr. Stubbs, if you
good.
would not mind, Dr. Mitterwald here is going to take a look at the samples we spoke of earlier.
Of course. So I do have to inform you, until this whole jurisdiction issue is sorted out, you're not allowed to touch the bodies. I'm happy to show them to you, but that's as far as we can go.
Can I direct and you touch the bodies?
No, I'm not allowed to touch them either.
See what we can do.
All right.
And this is specifically the foot and the hand, right?
And Amanda's
foot and the
body is
hand-
here too.
Oh, Amanda's body. Okay.
You can see that like he isn't happy, and he's clearly reciting something he's been told he has to say.
Okay.
Where's
but
Dr.
as
Kane?
As he turns, Dr. Kane walks in, and you see kind of a shorter woman, very like put together, but you can tell she probably hasn't slept in about 3 days. As she comes in, and it's like, I'm sorry, who are all of you, really quickly?
Safi Conroy? Dr. Kane?
Seffi Conroy, okay.
Major Michael Mitterwald.
Middlewald,
Nice to meet
and
you.
that makes you Lewis Stubbs. Okay. Do you have the
Yes.
things I asked you to retrieve? Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Stubbs, you don't mind if I occupy one of your rooms? Do you have an examining room that's free at this moment? And he kind of, yeah, of course. You'll go down the hall to the left. You two will be coming with me to the right.
Okay.
Kane's like, I will talk to you both soon.
I figured we'd examine them all together, perhaps.
I've looked at the other two as much as I've been allowed to. I'm much more curious about the package that you retrieved for me.
Okay. The fact that she said, shoot the birds.
And then has not been allowed to like, if anybody has jurisdiction, it should be her, right?
She's like, let me get those birds. Can I do like a human to see if I like picking up anything weird about her?
Yeah, for sure.
I feel
Okay,
that.
I'm gonna roll human.
So sus.
I'm not very good, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I guarantee mine's worse, but
Okay, I rolled a 0, 0, and a 1. Is that a 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
nice.
Tell me everything.
So when she was born, yeah. So the biggest thing is, you can tell she is very, very sleep deprived right now.
Mhm.
She's not firing on all cylinders, and she is getting like clearly more and more sloppy as she's getting more and more tired. I think the biggest thing is like she's gotten, from the look that she's gotten, she is scared of whatever this is.
Okay.
So you probably now in retrospect, you're like, that call to shoot the birds was less a scientific and her as her official position, and more her as a scared human telling you to just kill them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to, I don't know, maybe before we go, maybe be like, Conroy, can you go? I'll be in there in just a minute. I'm gonna see if I can talk to what's her name, Miss Kane.
Dr. Kane?
Dr. Kane. I'm gonna see if I can get any information out of her real quick.
Okay, you sure
I'm
you
getting a
don't want
vibe.
to do the opposite? You do have the medical training if you want to look at but either way.
Yes. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'll take. I also have the package, so I'm going to take it. I'm not going to pull it out and hand it to her in front of everyone anyway. So I will escort her to the examination room and bring out the package and see what I can find out from her while you start taking a look at the hand and the foot.
Yes.
Perfect. So let's start with, we started with the birds this episode. Let's keep with the birds for a little while. So as you kind of open the package and unload the Crowe carcasses, you can see like she is like visibly shaken looking at these things. And she kind of like carefully, with gloved hands obviously, like moves and kind of turns it around, and she's like, we can get a fingerprint off of these fingers. Okay. And puts it to the side, and she's like, I need to get a sample of their blood. I'm going to do that and get that under a microscope and find a reason to keep Stubbs busy. And at least one of you come back in here in about 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes. Okay, you
10
don't.
minutes.
I should. Okay. Where is Stubbs?
He should be in the other room with Michael.
Well, he's so he's busy now.
Yeah, but I just need some space to get everything in order, and then I promise I will share everything I found.
Okay. Can I get you anything? A coffee, a water, a caffeine
I had some coffee
pill?
I had some coffee on the way over, so I'm set. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we are right over there. If you need anything, I will come check on you in 10 minutes.
Thank you. Okay. And you see, she starts dissecting the birds.
All right. I don't know that Safi wants to get out of sight of that door when she leaves the room. So if there is not a way to keep an eye on the door while also going into whichever room the major has gone into, then she's gonna just probably stay posted right outside the door just in case. Not like looking in or hovering, but just so that there's no way we could miss her leaving.
Yeah.
If that were to happen.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so you can't go into the other room, so yeah, we'll say that you're kind of hovering and just keeping an eye on things.
Got it.
In the other office, Stubbs kind of like pulls out, a full tray, but all that's on it is the foot and hand of Greaves. So what are you looking for exactly as you look at this?
I guess I want to look at like the maybe this is just me, the player, not being sure or not remembering, but like I want to know why it stopped at the foot, like why, or like what if there's like anything that carries on to the regular undissolved skin of this foot and hand, and then basically do as far as the body of Amanda Griffin, just like without touching anything, as much as I can do, just like angle and do like just a full investigation of it as far as I can without moving the body.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, like the biggest thing as you examine like the foot and hand, it really, there's nothing all that remarkable about it except for all the circumstances that led to it just being a foot and just being a hand.
Yeah.
And it's hard to say because you're not allowed to do any tests as of right now. But you know how there was like that blue pigmentation and some of like the growths on the crows, and even like looking at Griffin's body, you can see like a discoloration kind of moving throughout her body. Not like actively moving, but you see like blue, like blue discoloration all over her. You don't see any of that in the hand and foot.
Okay. Oh, okay. And it's just one hand and one foot.
Correct.
Okay. So I'm going to, and I'm in the room with. I'm sorry, I'm so bad with these.
No, you're totally good.
I'm in the room with what's
Dr. Stubbs.
Louis Stubbs.
Stubbs. Okay. So I'm gonna say So I know you've been told not to touch it, not to take samples, anything like that. What if I did anyway?
What if we just did?
Roll Humint on Stubbs.
What are you gonna do about it?
And I'm saying like what I'm trying to get across is like this is important. Like if this saves lives, like what if I did anyway, and it saved some people from coming down with the same strange illness. So Humint 30. Not good. 92.
So Stubbs just says, you would be breaking the law. And I would
But
have to report you.
What if you just stepped out of the room for a few minutes? Is there equipment to run tests on this stuff in this room?
Yeah, you have all the equipment you'd need. So as you say that, Stubbs steps closer to you and says, if you're going to do this, I'm going to be in the fucking room. Just so we understand each other.
Okay, but maybe like officially, you went and got coffee or something. Went and investigated something else.
Yeah, I think officially there's going to be a glitch with the cameras, but I'm here for the whole thing.
Okay. Let's do it.
That's what we like to hear.
But we're going to cut away from that.
Dang it.
Lucas and Marco, you pull up to Evelyn Wells' home. First of all, who's driving?
I feel like Marco would be the kind of person that insists on driving. Oh, you're muted, Sero.
That works for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so as you pull up to Evelyn Wells' home, which is like a single-story home, all the lights are off. No sign that anyone's home. No car in the driveway, nothing.
Marco would tell Lucas that he's just going to go have a look around back, and to wait for him in the car, and we'll get out the door and just try and do a 360 around the property, see what he can see.
I'm going to call a local judge and see if I can get a warrant.
On what grounds, counselor?
There's.
You certainly can try to do that if you'd like.
I would love to try to do that.
Sure. Roll bureaucracy, King.
Let's go. That's a 15 against a 70 in bureaucracy.
Yeah, I mean, you're told that some local cops are going to come out, but they'll have the warrant with them, and you guys can enter the property.
For what?
Look, probable cause.
Don't get me started on how law enforcement actually works. All right, so I'll walk up to the front door and I'll try the door.
It's locked.
Okay. Hey, Marco. Go ahead. Finish your 360s.
Yeah, has Marco gone around the property, noticed anything like a granny house or garage or maybe storm doors to a cellar or anything like that?
Yeah, you see a set of storm doors, but nothing really notable. Walking around, you're confident that nobody's home.
Yeah. All right, so I'm back at the front stoop then with Lucas.
How do you feel about kicking a door down?
I would prefer the back door.
Oh, okay. We can do that. I got a warrant coming on the way, so we got free reign to snoop.
So I'll be on the up and up soon.
Look, I don't want to hear about you mamby-pamby Fourth Amendment weenies. Let's go.
Marco will go around to the back. First, he'll take a look around to see if there's like a hidden key somewhere under the mat, under a potted plant.
Sure.
Clever.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to include a quick disclaimer that you should not take any legal advice from this show. This is not at all how things work.
But I'm not your lawyer.
Correct.
Yeah. I was going to say, if you're looking to a Delta Green actual play podcast for legal advice, you're going in the wrong direction.
Or are you going in the best possible direction.
But yeah, so give me a search roll to see if you can find a key.
73 over less than that, so no.
All right. If you want in, you're kicking that door in.
All right, here's to kicking the door in.
All right.
Sweet. Roll strength.
Oh, 98 over 65.
Oh, okay. You got to do like the fireman kick where you're like kicking towards where the lock is and just like nothing.
Is this thing reinforced?
Just you see Lucas out of the corner of your eye, just like looking you up and down and being like, "Expect it more."
Marco will go and check the storm doors, see if they're locked or easier to open.
Yeah, there's a padlock on the outside.
Are there any windows that appear as though I could manipulate them from the outside, like maybe try and push up on some of them?
Yeah, you want to try the windows?
Sure.
Roll luck. So roll against 50.
32.
All right, you try a couple, and then third time's the charm, and window just lifts right up.
I have found a way in.
Marco will come over and give him a lift up to get in there.
Right? And Lucas will help him up after he gets in.
Perfect.
You could just
Yeah,
open the door.
No, if I have to go through the window, you do too.
It's cooler this way.
We don't want anyone else coming in and disturbing us.
Yeah, so what are you looking for? Are you just kind of poking around?
Yeah, I guess first of all, just get a lay of the house, see if there's any rooms that might have anything interesting in them, like an office or a study or something of that nature.
Yeah. Roll search on the study.
And while he's doing that, Marco would be looking to see if there's any
Wow. I got a
workshop,
14 against 20.
armory, anything like that.
Okay. So there is no workshop or armory. It's a pretty basic house. No cool nothing. However, the one cool thing that was in that office, you find a journal that's been written in recently. It takes a little bit of reading, but you're able to kind of like, as you spend like a little time, and you can kind of, it's saying things without saying them as much. And you're eventually able to put together, it's a log of Evelyn Wells's monitoring of Tybalt Greaves's house. It's got essentially like weekly, like just weekly and sometimes more frequent, sometimes less frequent, monitoring the outside of the house, monitoring any like financial transactions that Greaves or Griffin were involved in. And there's a few just random mentions of contact with someone that they refer to as Michael.
Okay. Is Michael an attorney?
They just say that essentially you've put together that it sounds like Michael's whoever hired them to do this job. But it's always first name and there's no details at any point.
Any information about anybody else from the private and PI agency, or was this just her that was investigating this?
I would say that from what you can tell, it seems like it's just her. And the fact that you found this journal here and not at the office is probably a sign that this might not have been
On the books.
something the rest of them knew about.
Got it. Okay. All right. And any sign of any sort of like where she might have gone, or where she might have gone? Any like indication that she's left and is no longer in town?
Yeah, I would say as you guys walk through, you can see like her bedroom. It looks like the closet's open. There's like a clear gap of some stuff that was taken out. And like everything's a little, the main area is pretty immaculate, but her room seems a little like turned over, not from like someone else being there. It looks like more someone trying to hurry out.
Is there luggage, or is just no sign of any luggage? Like,
Yeah, you don't see. Yeah, if she had like a suitcase, you don't see a suitcase.
Okay.
So there's no sign of any luggage that's been left there. Sweet. All right,
Well,
let's cut.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. No, I'm done.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say, we'll cut away from you guys as like the cops with the warrant show up to have now allowed you into this house. But we go back to the medical examiner's office, and let's see. All right, Michael, what is your score in biology?
Biology, I have 60.
60.
Surgery, if that matters, 70.
Okay. So, first of all, let's talk about the very weird thing that everyone will understand. So her blood is blue as you're kind of extracting it from the body for sampling and testing. It's like this thick blue liquid that's kind of like more viscous, I would say, than like typical blood is.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm going to read you all the fun biology stuff that you just learned about it.
Yay!
I'm sure I will really get something from this.
Yeah. So, first of all, as you start testing it, you see that the cells in this blood have human characteristics, but their life cycle is based on carbon dioxide. They're extremely resilient, and they almost have like this plant-like cell that surrounds the cell membrane. So like you see the normal blood cell, but then you see this like blue membrane around it as you put it to testing.
Okay.
So you also see that the cells seem to react to light. Like it's almost like to really get this information, you end up having to put as minimal light possible to get these things to act normally.
So under light,
it kind of becomes
like a human cell.
So it becomes almost more stationary and less movement in general.
Okay.
And then the biggest thing you notice is at one point, as you're testing different light frequencies on it, you try to use ultraviolet B, and it almost like burns these cells. Like they just like wipe out.
Okay. Ultraviolet B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it looks like as soon as the internal cell material breaches the cell wall and gets exposed to ultraviolet B, it hardens to a thick blue crystalline material and just falls apart.
Okay. As we're like figuring this out, do I know of like a way? This is just my ignorance. Is that ultraviolet B? Is there like a way to like project that?
There's some high grade military equipment that can, but you're gonna have to
nothing,
pass.
Yeah, nothing that would be easy to get.
Nothing that you're gonna be able to get and be like, yay.
Okay.
It's actually a setting on your blacklight pen. Just flip it.
That's what I was asking.
I knew it.
UPB race?
I think I've got one on my Android phone.
Just download the app. It'll be fine.
For you guys in Roll20, I have just shown you what the cell looks like.
Ooh. Oh.
Pictures. Let me see. Ah, it is a blob.
So that's
Big
that.
old blob.
That's that blue plant-like cell wall around the
Exactly.
red. Okay.
And
And light freezes it, makes it like stationary.
yeah, and then like especially that ultraviolet caused it to become almost like crystalline and fall apart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anything else I get from this?
Roll human really quick on your partner in crime there.
Okay. Well, it's still 30. 6.
Okay. You can kind of see that like you can see like he's trying to like reconcile. Like, you know, you can tell that look where he's like it's not making sense even though he knows what he's looking at. You know. But he's not saying anything to you, and he's saying, if anything, he's become more quiet the longer that you guys have run these tests and started doing your autopsy.
Okay. I feel like at this point he's seen stuff that like unnatural. And so
Take him out.
I know this is like a four session game, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna go like, hey, when this is all done, I'm gonna give you a phone number of somebody who might be able to help you understand what you're seeing a little more.
Hell yeah.
I'm gonna try to create a friendly.
I was gonna say you can recruit him. Safi, for you, it's probably more like 5 minutes, and then Kane kind of pokes her head out and is like, "Get in here."
All right.
And you see that she's fingerprinted the fingers that she was able to find on that bird.
Mm-hmm.
And she explains essentially the same thing that Michael was able to discover, that whatever it is, it's like a plant-like cell that's surrounding a normal human blood cell, and that it's sensitive to light. She does not discover the ultraviolet aspect because that's not available in this specific location.
Okay. All right. What does that mean?
She's like, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know. It's human, but it's not. And it's strong. And whatever it is, it's able to absorb other things to make itself stronger. Like it looks like whatever this plant membrane is slowly assimilating other things around it.
Well, that does not sound very good, but you said it's reactive to light, so perhaps should we come across a creature made entirely of these cells, perhaps direct sunlight or bright sunlight or something of that nature could help slow it down so we can capture it or take it out?
I would say you need to do everything you can to get access to some pretty powerful lights, because if you're going to run into something like this, it looks like I don't want to speculate too much, but if this thing touches you, you could easily get whatever this is to start infecting you.
Did you touch any of it? Maybe by accident,
No.
sleepyhead? Okay, great, wonderful.
No. PP is all intact.
Excellent.
And all of this is under light right now, so it's slowly dissolving.
And as far as you can tell, it's just touch. as it's only conveyed, or what's the word I'm looking for? Transmissible via touch or bodily fluids? Would it potentially be airborne? What are we talking about here? What kind of PPE do we need to be donning to go out in the world after this?
I would say don't in any way allow any physical contact with anything that is living and infected.
Okay. But we...
Especially not in the dark. That's when these things propagate like crazy.
I see. Yes, that makes sense. But we definitely do not think that it is airborne at all, right? Because I did not have a mask when I collected those birds.
No, I would say it's not airborne in any way.
Perfect.
I see no evidence of it.
Awesome. Okay, well, shall we, what do you need to do now? Should we go check in with my partner? Are you good here, or?
Yeah, I'm going to head back to FBI headquarters. We're going to keep trying to draw out this conflict a little bit to keep you guys under cover for a little bit longer. So just keep working. If you find anything else like this and you think that there's a better chance of me looking at it, you're welcome to call me.
Well, my concern is that the park, the national park where the plane went down, be extra secured, because it does seem like there might be a contagion, a contaminated specimen wandering around. So whatever containment tools you have at your disposal, you should probably get those in place.
Oh, to be perfectly honest, Safi, you are the containment protocol. So I'll help as much as I can, but this is your case.
Okay, so we need to go there and hunt it down. I'm just saying, don't let it, like, create a perimeter. Don't let anybody, like,
Of course.
the whole park is
eyes, and
quarantined.
we're here to support you, but when it comes to catching whatever this is, that's going to be on you all.
So, well, I think that is where it is location-wise. So what can we do as far as transportation? Is that you, or should I talk to...
Call Rosales. She'll get you.
Rosales.
She'll get you.
Okay, wonderful. You get some sleep, my dear. You look terrible. I'm going to go touch base with my partner.
Perfect. So as you walk away, you can see that the sun is like slowly going down.
I was about to ask what time it was.
Yeah, it's after dark now. And the camera kind of cuts away, and we just see kind of this like house that does not look like it's in a similar situation to this, but you hear the phone ring, and it keeps ringing, and eventually it clicks and goes to voicemail, and it's like, hey, we're not home, leave a message. And as you hear the like, and it you just hear, and then it clicks, and then you hear it start to ring again. And we'll pick this up next time.
All right. Oh man.
Woo.
I was scared.
Oh.
We gotta go to Idaho.
Yes, we do. Like yesterday.
Yeah, it seems like you've got a few problems going on.
You think?
Gotta kill a dog. Go to Idaho.
This dog.
I don't think we need to kill the dog.
I think the dog's probably already dead.
I was gonna say, I think that might have been taken care of for you.
Yeah, pretty sure the dog cells are assimilated plant-like cells now. Hi, that's the end of our session tonight. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Tabletop Turntable, and we will be back in 2 weeks, which is what day? The 29th? Halloween week for our next session. But before that, we will be back next Wednesday, the 23rd, with Level Up. And I think that's all we have on the immediate horizon for this week and next week. And then make sure you stay tuned and you're subscribed and all that so you get all of our notifications. We have our very first Founder Fun Shot coming up on Saturday, November 9th. And Jordan Brown, Dr. Opt-Out himself, is going to be joining us and playing Zombie Road RPG with us, run by the game developer himself, Mikkel Maksai of Dragonmount Press, all the way from Hungary. So that's really cool. Stay tuned for that. Anything else from any of y'all?
Happy birthday, Meg.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm probably just going to sleep because I'm real tired. This month has been busy. But yeah, that's it for us. So thank you very much for Keaton, James, Colin, Sero, and myself. Thank you for tuning in and never stop playing. Bye-bye.